Mm-hmm.
All of the powerhouse teams, all the teams that BYU are winless against, Houston, Texas Tech, are either right in front of us
Did we
or
not
right
beat
on their
Houston?
tails.
We beat Houston in football last year.
Well,
We
I think we're
did.
talking about basketball.
Just basketball.
And I'm just gonna stop talking.
No, bro.
Basketball,
We
baby.
need to keep
Basketball,
talking.
baby.
I'm gonna run out of information. I'm gonna run out of information, so you have to have the information. That's like the only nugget I have. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Hike the Y. Here we got Brandon, Nate, and Connor. Here we go. We want the record. We want to set the record straight that last week we did record an episode, but due to technical difficulties, we were unable to keep it. That's okay. That happens sometimes. But we appreciate you guys sticking with us as we get started, and as we are kind of new to this sort of thing, and for that, we kind of make mistakes.
I'll just take full responsibility here real quick.
All right, if you want to do it that way, then.
I'm learning the difference between copy and duplicate. So definitely it was really sad to delete a whole episode of a podcast. So hopefully never happens again.
Yeah.
It probably will.
Probably
our track record.
Track record is not, anyway. But we're figuring this out, and we appreciate those who are listening to this, who will listen to this. So stick it out. So we're here talking about all things BYU sports today. Especially want to talk about BYU's game on Saturday against Texas Tech, and talk about what BYU can do as Big 12 play continues, and what adjustments could be made, and all of that. So we're gonna get started with that. And Brandon said he has something for us, and so we're gonna turn the time over to Brandon.
Sounds like that sounded like in church where you finish the introduction. You're like, no, we'll turn the time over to Brandon for our lesson.
That's a good point. How else is that supposed anyway?
All right. Anyway, I just stumbled upon this because we were just talking about the BYU Utah rivalry and how it's like so fun because BYU is playing Utah this Saturday at the Marriott Center. It's gonna be rocking. But I found this thing from The Athletic, and I'm not sure exactly when it was published because I don't have enough money to just spend it on The Athletic. But someone on Reddit posted pretty much like a dumbed-down version of what it said. And The Athletic ranked college football's 100 best rivalries. And so my question, I already know because I looked, so I can't really chime in on this. My question for Connor and Nate here is, where do you think they ranked the Utah-BYU rivalry?
That's a good question.
I think it's definitely going to be ranked higher than it should be. I mean, higher as in it's ranked low.
So you think they
underrated
undervalue?
They undervalue. I think they
agree.
undervalue it.
I agree because most of the writers, I don't know if they've ever been to the games. They just watch them on TV. And
Well, it's really hard to say because, have you ever been to a? I'm just gonna pick a random one off this list.
I've not. Whatever you're gonna say,
Oklahoma State game.
Bedlam, bro.
I don't know, but anyway, keep going.
I think it should be high. I think it's obviously number one. I know where I'm at, but I think they put it probably between 10 and 15.
Okay.
In the top 100, right?
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, it's definitely in the top.
Well, that's the list. It's top 100, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's probably
For
between 10 and 15.
for reference, LSU Mississippi State, who I don't think any of us consider a rivalry,
Yeah, no.
is ranked at 100. So you can pretty much get
Okay.
if you have any bad blood at all ever between you, it's in here.
I would say BYU versus Utah, it would be 16 to 20. I feel like it deserves to be top 10, maybe even top 5. I'm also a BYU fan, and I've grown up with this rivalry my entire life. I do think that Michigan versus Ohio State, I feel like the rivalry over there is a lot it's deeper than BYU versus Utah, and it gets a little bit more intense. And I also think it gets a lot more coverage than the actual BYU versus Utah game.
For sure.
But I feel like in that list would be Oklahoma and Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say the Iron Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Michigan, Ohio State, of course. I'm trying to think of some other maybe Georgia, Alabama would be above. I don't know if that's a rivalry as Is that a rivalry? Georgia, Alabama?
I don't know if that's competitive enough to be a
I don't know,
rivalry.
yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at the list as you're saying things, like seeing where everything's at, and Georgia, Alabama isn't in the top 30. Although, like, the past couple of years, Georgia, Alabama has definitely been a rivalry, but obviously they're looking at, like,
The history.
All
The
history.
whole all time.
here's the reveal. Utah BYU comes in at 28.
Oh,
Are you
wow.
serious?
Yeah, really, really high.
Dang.
Right below, well, they're at 20, at 27, Oregon State.
No.
Are you for real?
Yeah, so not
That's just disrespectful.
the best, I
That's
will
just
say.
terrible.
I guess it's hard, but like Utah BYU, the Holy War, like it has the coolest name. Maybe the Iron Bowl, like maybe the game, Michigan versus Ohio State. The Holy War, like come on,
Well,
no.
and the
I disagree with him.
The BYU Utah like rivalry runs so deep. Like the OG like BYU versus Utah game was a baseball game, and it ended in a fight between players, and they didn't even finish the game because there was like fighting between BYU and Utah. Like that's how deep it runs. Like since day one, it's just been pure hatred.
Yeah, this is definitely it's a deep rivalry. I think it's definitely, Nate said it, I think it's just the coverage, what you see and who's in it.
Yeah,
I don't know why Oregon State. Who's below it? Out of curiosity, who's at 29?
29. We got Stanford, Cal.
Oh,
Oh,
my
heck
gosh.
no.
Yeah, so not in great
The
company.
Pac-12 rivalry,
yeah.
bruh.
I will. Here's the top 10. At 10, this one's gonna disgust some people. Minnesota, Wisconsin.
What?
Okay, I actually see
I
that.
think that one.
I actually see that.
It's a little older. Like it's
That's-
not as much anymore.
You have to be from the Midwest.
From what I've seen, but
I have some people that I've met this year from Wisconsin and from Minnesota, and any chance they can get,
they hate each other.
they don't hate each other, but any chance they can get to like dog on the other like state, they'll do it. Like
Dude, I've never heard
the
of
Midwest.
This. I've never heard of this.
I'll tell
rivalry.
you,
I
I heard it from
barely heard of
one of my
it.
aunts is from Wisconsin, and she said that she had to become a Packers fan. Like that's how the sports world is so crazy that she had to become a Packers fan in middle school to like have friends.
Oh my gosh.
And so like when the Packers play the Vikings, because Minnesota,
Imagine
Wisconsin,
being a Bears fan. You moved to.
yeah. so that
screwed.
it does run deep. I don't know. 10 definitely maybe think that the writer would have been from an area Midwest.
In the Midwest.
Yeah,
But
and
I do respect the ranking for that one.
Interesting.
yeah, like I said, I can't like open the article. I'm guessing it's a bunch of writers coming together and like voting. But here, I'll just
Okay,
rattle
yeah,
off.
keep going.
I'll just rattle off the rest. 9. I think these ones are a little bit like at least more upfront. Like you've heard about them. Florida State.
Okay.
Ohio State, Penn State.
Okay.
Miami, Florida State. Which I thought the Miami Florida rivalry was bigger, but I guess maybe I just don't know as much about college football.
I think historically
Because
it's
it's not
because
even up there.
in Miami was the team of like the late 90s, early 2000s, and then Florida State came in as like the dominant team after that. And they were also conference mates. Well, Florida was in the SEC maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
okay,
that's
okay.
a 7.
Okay.
6, Nebraska, Oklahoma.
Oosh.
Well,
That is
Yeah.
that was not so much anymore,
Yeah.
but that was
Lots
in the
of these
70s.
are-
That was a big deal.
You go back to the 90s, the
I don't know.
80s, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm waiting for this all year.
I'll
and
play-
now
I'll play-
it's like, eh.
If they're gonna rank that one that high, I'll play devil's advocate and say maybe they rank BYU Utah so low because when they're looking, those are like 70s and 80s. That's like Oklahoma and Nebraska like would compete for the national championship and stuff like that.
gotcha.
BYU Utah, when Lavelle Edwards was here, it wasn't a rivalry. It was a rivalry.
And then before that, it also
just-
wasn't a rivalry because Utah would.
Utah would either win or BYU would either win, and it wasn't really like a rivalry. It wasn't really a rivalry until like the early 2000s. So in terms of legacy, I can see part of it from the devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like as of recent, it's not really been a rivalry because we've won 3 straight.
They've been good ones though. I will say it's been so fun to watch these games. All right, top 5. USC, Notre Dame, obviously
Okay.
in the top 5. Army, Navy,
Yeah.
which like when
That
I
makes
was
sense.
thinking
Force,
about it,
yeah.
Army
I
Navy.
somehow like missed it, but that's a huge one. And then top 3, Red River rivalry, Oklahoma versus Texas.
Yep.
2, Auburn, Alabama, and 1, Michigan, Ohio State.
Okay.
So I mean, I think they got the top 5.
It's a
right?
respectable list. The top 5, I would
sure.
I would agree
Dude,
with
what
the top
about
5.
Rhode Island and New York?
Dude?
Where's that rivalry?
I wonder.
Harvard, Yale.
I'm gonna see if it's even on here. Nope. Harvard, Yale.
The Knowledge
I
Bowl.
saw it.
Utah State versus BYU.
Harvard, Yale's at 20.
Utah State BYU. Is that on the list?
No.
Do you know? Utah versus BYU.
I don't think
versus,
BYU is going to be on here twice.
BYU versus UVU.
The UVU fans will want that one.
They love that one. Just like
UVU
Wyoming,
got a
Wyoming
devotional
fans
shout out today.
Yeah.
You watched the
What?
BYU devotional.
They did.
Matthew Holland, the guy who
Oh
spoke,
yeah.
he gave UVU a shout out. And the game that he talked about, where UVU came into the Marriott
Dark
Center
days.
and put up 114, I was at that game.
No.
Yeah,
And I was like, holy cow! Like
that was what
can't
Mark
miss.
Pope's like first season.
I can't
Second-
remember.
It was 2016 because they said it.
I think Dave Rose was still there.
Was he? 'Cause I felt that was a dark time when they came in the Marriott Center and won. Anyway,
And BYU still put up 100 points.
yeah.
But Dave Rose left BYU.
UVU would consider
No,
that a
yeah, he
rivalry.
left BYU in 2019.
Okay.
So Dave Rose was there. Dave Rose, such a legendary coach.
Shout out Dave Rose.
All right, that was
Pretty solid
that was
segment.
That's an
fun.
interesting
Solid
list.
segment.
I don't agree with
Yeah.
most of it, but
Yeah,
that's okay. That's
But-
the world of sports right there.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Miami, Ohio. Is that
Yeah.
83?
That one's pretty.
83.
I've never
intense.
heard of that.
Yeah, because
know that.
Cincinnati, it's Miami, Ohio,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
It's because they're like really close. It'd be like BYU versus UVU. At least that's what I'm.
Okay.
Miami, Ohio versus Cincinnati.
I feel like
surprised that-
there's some like lower level basketball that like sometimes the rivalries run deep for like the people in that area.
Ooh, if we're
So-
talking basketball, what
Or,
about
wait,
Duke,
why was I
North
thinking
Carolina?
basketball?
Yeah, where's Duke UNC?
Yeah.
They have to be on. They're probably on that list.
Well,
somewhere.
Well,
I
not
bet
for
this is
football
football.
because
Oh, it's just for football.
yeah, Duke is never competitive. Well, actually this year.
And
they were.
Actually, neither team is traditionally competitive.
UNC
in football.
tried to be competitive this year. Bill Belichick just flopped. But
I feel like
When we lost to Texas Tech, I was like, you know what? At least we're not UNC.
I feel like when we're talking about rivalries, people always think about football.
Oh, yeah.
And we can talk about this on Thursday. I was hoping on Thursday we could talk all about the BYU versus Utah rivalry. I feel like basketball counts as like another like rivalry game. Like BYU versus Utah doesn't get the hype that it deserves in basketball because it is still a crazy game. You never know what to expect. So
yeah,
rivalries are definitely like based off of
I will
football
say
from what
like
I've seen.
football is definitely up. Like if you think of rivalries, that's the first thing that comes to
Yeah,
mind.
you know what would be a fun activity in the future? We could do like basketball rivalries. What are some really cool basketball rivalries that we've seen?
Yeah.
Maybe we could talk about that in the future.
That'd be awesome. We could see about that.
All right, should we go into the Texas Tech BYU basketball review?
Sure.
I feel like we're cursed. Does anyone else realize that? Like, or like
I mean,
feel like
seeing
they're
that we're
cursed?
16-2, I don't know if I would agree with that, but
Well, no, I'm saying we're cursed with Texas Tech because we were
Oh,
11.
shoot.
We were 11-1 in football, and actually we were 12-2, 13-2 in football.
bro,
and
Texas Tech has our number right
Texas
now.
Tech,
I'll
and then
say.
Texas Tech beats us in basketball. I feel like we just can't beat the Red Raiders.
In per ESPN stats, they'd agree that we only are winless since joining the Big 12 against two teams, against Texas Tech and Houston. We've beaten every other team in the Big 12 since joining the conference,
Really?
except for those two.
For basketball?
In basketball. hmm
That's not true.
According to ESPN, that is.
We lost at least 6 conference games last year.
Did we?
Yeah, but to
I
different
wasn't here.
teams. We also beat them. We've never beaten Texas.
Oh, which ones we've
Tech?
never beaten?
Yeah, we've never beat
Okay, I
Texas
was like,
Tech. Oh no, I don't know what you
whoa,
thought.
whoa.
I don't know what you thought I was saying, but we've never beaten Texas Tech or Houston since joining the Big 12 in basketball. We've never beaten either of them.
We almost beat this is lore from like 3 years ago. I remember we almost beat Houston in the Marriott Center when Jackson Robinson hit got like 25, 30 points, and we just couldn't hold on. I don't know why I was thinking of that, but we almost beat Houston.
Well,
Almost.
Almost is, yeah, that's the word for it.
if we look at the top 5, Arizona, Houston, they're tied for first. Tied for second is BYU and Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
All of the powerhouse teams, all the teams that BYU are winless against, Houston and Texas Tech, are either right in front of us
Did we
or
not
right
beat
on their
Houston?
tails.
We beat Houston in football last year.
Well,
We
I think we're
did.
talking about basketball.
Just basketball.
And Okay, I'm just gonna stop talking.
No, bro, we need
Basketball,
to
baby.
keep
Basketball,
talking.
baby.
I'm gonna run out of information. I'm gonna run out of information, so you have to have the information. That's like the only nugget I had.
Okay, I'm
anyway.
too confused.
I think if we jump straight into the BYU versus Texas Tech game,
Yeah,
Yeah, let's just do that.
the thing that killed us was shooting from three. going
absolutely.
into halftime, I think we were like 2 for 13 shooting wise.
We might have had
we
one
ended.
too. I know Bosky hit one. I can't remember anything else.
We ended 5 and 22 from beyond the arc, 23% for that whole game, compared to Texas Tech, who had 38% from the arc. Just completely getting killed from those threes. Like when Texas Tech had a 20-point turnaround, they scored 20 straight points, or I guess it was 20 to 4.
That was deflating.
It was Toppin who was making threes. He had like 4 threes in that whole thing.
Banked one in.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know
banked it high
if
off
you guys remember this.
off the glass.
It wasn't even close. I was like watching the shot in midair. I was like, finally, Toppin, already not a good 3-point shooter. Finally, he missed one, and then he banked it in. That's the worst. That actually might be the worst feeling as a defensive player when someone banks in a 3. That's just so deflating. But
Yeah.
and the other thing about it that I just hated, BYU. I'm gonna take the time to pull it up real quick because I want to get the stat right. Maybe this might take longer than I thought. Anyway, yeah, here it is. BYU at the 9:26 mark was winning by 9, 61-52. And in the last 9 minutes and 28 seconds, BYU was only able to score 10 points.
Oh my.
And then with like 1 minute left, after the game was already over, that's when we scored 4 of our points. So it was pretty much BYU's only able to score 6 points in practically the last 10 minutes. After going on a run to get up by 9 points, Texas Tech couldn't buy a bucket. And then we are just able to do absolutely nothing. The tide completely turns, and that really sucked. So, yeah, that's a big part of the game.
I think a big part also was just the first half. Like was mentioned, we made maybe 1 or 2 threes in the first half. We ended the half with 31 points. So getting to 71, we scored 40 points in the second half, right? But this is a team that is averaging a lot more than that. And so just nothing was falling. And, yeah, the biggest one was the 3-point for me because we live and die by the 3, and on Saturday it kind of felt like we died by the 3 or by the lack of the 3. But it was tough because we didn't get outclassed in basically any other way. They just made their shots and we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They had 10 turnovers. We had 12. I said in the podcast episode that we couldn't fit. That didn't work. I said turnovers would be a huge thing for BYU, and they proved to be very costly because that's also the thing. If you're not – the shots that we were missing from 3 are costly, but not even getting a shot off on a possession is worse. Yeah. And so to give them extra chances to score baskets while not scoring baskets when you need to definitely hurt BYU and has kind of hurt us in the last couple of games, but yet on Saturday it was really felt.
Yeah, and just going off what you said about turnovers, BYU and Texas Tech, they were pretty equal when it came to offensive rebounds. BYU was 12, Texas Tech had 10. Like BYU had the favor there, right? But when we get to steals, both teams had 7 steals. When it came to blocks, BYU had 5 blocks compared to their 4 blocks. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty fair, pretty equal. What went wrong? Well, what went wrong was BYU only had 9 points off of turnovers. And then Texas Tech had 16 points off of turnovers. They had double what we had. And they had 10 turnovers, we had 12 turnovers. It's not that big of a difference. But they still had almost twice as many points as we had off of turnovers. And so it's like if we're turning the ball over, we need to be able to like get back, stop a fast break, stop whatever, take control of the game, take control of the ball, and just like score the baskets. So it's frustrating.
Yeah, I have so many, like BYU is in this game for a long time. I still have so many things I'm just frustrated about. Texas Tech has probably the best big man in the country. Well, at least he's up there. JT Toppin, he put up 27 points on this BYU, on a good BYU defense. And you'd think that you'd want your best defensive big man in there to stop him. Dybantsa only plays 21 minutes. And I get that he got 2 early fouls, and he didn't come back in the first half.
Yeah.
I just remember I was like, when is Dybantsa going to come back in? It ended up being never. And, like, it made sense because BYU was staying with Texas Tech. Like, rest your guy. That makes sense. But still, like, your best big man only getting 21 minutes. Hadim Boop has 17 minutes, and then Beto Ahmed has 16 minutes. And he's a good player, but I feel like he just doesn't have the same step on defense that Keba has. And when we get to our key points, I'm gonna talk about it more, so I won't expand too much. But I'm just pretty frustrated generally with the play of our big men. And I'll talk about it later. But one other thing that just jumps out to me, Kennard Davis 0 for 6 from 3.
Oh my.
He has been on the opposite of a tear. He's just been slumping completely.
He's a slouch.
Yeah, and BYU brought him in to be a 3-and-D player. They brought him in to stretch the floor, and he's done the opposite. I guess he hasn't done the opposite. He's played defense. He's shooting 29% from 3, which is just not up to what he can do. And I feel like I'm talking about stuff that I want to talk about later. But Kennard Davis could be something big for this BYU team if he can just make his threes. Really frustrating game to watch.
Maybe we should like move into our next segment. Just like
I'm wondering if
do you have
there's
another
anything
take?
else.
Anything good? Big bright spot.
Yeah, let's
here.
talk about something
big
good.
bright spot. Give me Rob Wright.
Oh yeah,
That was spectacular. That was his. That was, I think, career high points. I want to say. At
And
least,
he just had
at
a
least
career high the
season
other night.
after setting a career high a couple of nights ago. So Rob Wright was one of the bright spots
with
in
a
the game
dislocated finger.
AJ wasn't
hitting,
like it just wasn't going for anybody. Rob Wright was there. He was all over the floor. He had some great defensive plays, and he was the one that kept us in this game. When we were up by 9, it was because of him. They took him out right then, and he was gone for 1 minute. And in a minute, the lead
evaporated.
The lead evaporated in 1 minute of game time. So that was the huge positive. Was just his presence and his ability to his ball handling. I don't know how many turnovers he had because I'm trying to figure out how to look that stuff up. But he did not have a bad game. He did have 4 turnovers. 4
turnovers, but if you're handling the ball the entire game, like
if you're the point guard always carrying the ball, your odds are higher, of course. So that's definitely the bright spot to take away. He's playing hot these last couple of games. If the cold guys can warm up, if Kennard Davis can warm up, this is a scary team.
Yeah. Let me just say something. Are you going to say something about Rob?
Yeah, I was just going to say something about Rob. I just feel like
I
feel like he plays 90 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not that much time in a basketball game, but I feel like he never shits.
That's like more than double, but yeah.
So
90 minutes. Why not like 45 minutes?
I know. I'm just like, yeah.
I mean, that's a good point. And then one other thing I wanted to say about Rob, BYU scores 40 points in the paint, which is like the one stat that they kind of just were way better than Texas Tech. Texas Tech scores 28 points in the paint. 2 pretty good numbers, but obviously 40 is great. I swear 20 of those points came from Rob. Just driving in, like finding ways
100%.
to lay it up and in. He was amazing, and he was able to get inside really well. Like, I'm starting to think, Rob Wright, like, if the game's on the line, I want the ball in his hands over AJ at this point.
At this point, yeah, because you're right. He had a lot of the points in the paint. He also went 9 for 9 from the from free throw. I mean,
From 3.
From 3, no, from free throw. So his ability to get to the line, whereas nobody else on the team, he had 9 of the team's 14 free throw attempts, and 9 of the 12 makes. So his ability to get to the line also kept us in this game, and it's been a really key factor in conference play so far.
Fate of the universe on the line. Give me Rob Wright.
I want Robert Wright.
What do you have to say, Andre Iguodala?
Yeah, I was just saying that for the bit. Because like
I want Iguodala, but it's I want Rob Wright.
Laser beam pointed at Earth.
Martians have a death beam pointed at Earth.
Fate of the universe on the line. Give me Rob Wright the
I
third.
want Rob Wright the third.
Well, so this week BYU has Utah at home on Saturday, January 24th, and then immediately after that, on Monday, January 26th, we have the number 1 Arizona coming to the Marriott Center. And then,
Still undefeated.
and then after that, 19 Kansas. And then after that, like Oklahoma
And that's
State.
at Kansas, too. That's a tough place
And
to
Oklahoma
play.
State's good too. Like we can't skip over any of these teams.
And then Houston, number 6 Houston,
Whoosh.
at home. And so it's like these next 5 games are going to be pretty intense. We want BYU to go to the national championship. AJ Dybantsa said himself, it is the national championship or bust. We only get 1 year with him. Gentlemen, what are some things that we have to do? What are some things that BYU has to do? We can't do anything about it. We could just talk about it.
I can suit up on.
You're suiting up. What can the BYU basketball team do?
I'll suit up and drop 0.0 points per game. I will say I am pretty adamant about this. I feel like every time I've made notes for our podcast, and half the time our BYU basketball podcast we haven't been able to do, or it's obviously been deleted on accident.
My bad.
And so I just want to emphasize this so much. BYU's big men are above average on defense, which is great.
Who? The big 3 or like big men?
The big men, Beto, Ahmed, and then Kebaketa. And if you're wondering why I'm saying Beto Ahmed,
That's his nickname.
Abdullah Ahmed's nickname is Beto. I tried to figure out why. I can't find it. So, yeah, I'm just calling him Beto.
Yeah, if you're listening to the BYU basketball and you're going to listen to it from Greg Wrubell, he's going to say
You'll
Beto.
hear
So you
Beto.
better know. Brandon just explained it. There it is.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm really frustrated with is our offensive production with the big men. Like you were saying before, Nate, AJ Dybantsa says championship or bust. Let me give you the last 5 champions, and their big men are really good. Florida, Alex Condon. Like, he wasn't a traditional big man, but, like, he'd get down there. He'd be able to get in the paint. He scored over 10 points per game. All these big men scored over 10 points per game. UConn, 2 years ago, Donovan Cleveland. Like, he was massive. He could do anything he wanted in the paint. And then, obviously, great defensive player. UConn, 3 years ago, Adama Sanogo. If you remember him, he was just a beast down low. I felt like UConn just zipped through the tournament because they were able to give it to Sanogo pretty much every time. No one could stop him. Kansas, David McCormick. Like, they just give the ball to these big men down low when they needed a bucket, and they'd be able to produce. And then Baylor 5 years ago, they didn't really have like a traditional big man, but they would cut to the basket, get offensive rebounds, go to the basket all the time. And this BYU basketball team isn't doing that. BYU needs Kebaketa. I think Kevin Young needs to just call Kebaketa into the office and be like, all right, here's the thing. You are an amazing defensive player. You have to do something on offense. And I know that's not his game, and it's unfair to ask it of him. But if BYU wants to go to the national champion and wants to win something, like, you got to have a mix between Kebaketa and Fousseyni Traore. Like, if you remember Fousseyni Traore from the last 5 years, you could give it to him. He'd body. He'd back down. He'd do anything he could to get to the rim and then put that nice little touch on the floater and put it right through the basket. Kebaketa doesn't do that. You watch a basketball game and you maybe see him do it once a game. He probably airballs it. But, like, I don't know. I just really, if BYU wants to do this, we need big man production.
Yeah,
JT,
sure.
I
sorry
think,
for the rant.
I think to go just off of that, I'm looking at the point leaders and the rebound leaders for each game. It's not who you would think. Like, for rebounds, we've got Dybantsa, Wright. Here's Keda for his first time.
Rob Wright
Saunders
led the team in rebounds.
Keda,
Yes,
Dybantsa, Boop, Dybantsa, Keda, Saunders, Keda, Boop. Like, out of the 18 games that we've played, the rebound leaders, only five of the games are from Kebaketa. And he's the one who should be, like, getting all the rebounds. He's the one who's...
Go ahead. I think some of that might be because, like, Boop, Keda, and Ahmed are all kind of playing
maybe
a decent bit. But
Yeah.
Well, but if you look at, like, high points, it's Dybantsa, Saunders, Dybantsa. Keba is in there once against California Baptist. But other than that, it's Dybantsa, Saunders, Dybantsa, Saunders, Wright. It's just the big three. You don't really see Kebaketa and Boop and especially like Davis, you just don't see them like getting up on the stat sheets that often. Like I want to see Davis getting 20 plus points in a game. Like I want to see that statistic show up on ESPN. Every time Davis touches the ball, and not Davis, like Davis, Boop, all of them, I'm always like, oh my goodness, please just pass it to one of the big three.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust Boop with the ball.
Give the ball to AJ and let him do his thing in the paint. Give it to Rob Wright and let him do his thing. It always just like gives me a heart attack when I see anyone besides the big three get the ball. And I don't think it's the fault of the big three because they're so good. I feel like we just need a little bit more team around the big three. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be like, yes, the big three are all double guarded somehow. And Boop got a crazy dunk, or Boop got a crazy, like, whatever. Like, come on.
Yeah, like, you look at
were you giving me a shot clock?
No.
Okay.
You look at the NBA, and, like, we've seen plenty of big threes over the years. Like, you think back to the Suns. Bradley Beal obviously didn't produce as well. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. They were not a good team. I don't think they didn't win a playoff series, I don't think.
Together, I don't think so.
Maybe they did.
Maybe once, but
I know they played the Clippers. I can't remember who won. But like the point is, you need to have a strong surrounding cast, and if you don't, it's not going to work.
Yeah, especially we've kind of mentioned it the last couple of times with the 3-point. A lot of pressure on the 3-point shooting. Big man production lowers the pressure on you having to take threes to either stay in a game or get back in a game. It does so much for you, and especially if we can get an offensive rebound from somebody in the paint. I do agree that it's been the big thing. It's one of the things that we did at the beginning of the season when we played Wisconsin. We just dominated defensively, and we just dominated the paint. And we just looked like a different breed out there, rebounding the basketball and getting second chance points. When BYU gets second chance points, that can cover up a lot of the other problems, which it would be great to solve them. But if you can't solve them, and you got to live with them, then you got to fix something, and paint is something that BYU needs to be able to live in.
Yeah, and who's putting up those getting those offensive rebounds? It's not Kada.
It's Richie Saunders.
It's Richie Saunders.
It's AJ Dybantsa. Like
I want to see Kada go up and get an offensive rebound.
I've seen Kada do some good things. Like he's a hustle player. I remember him getting on the ground a couple games
put-back
ago.
dunks.
But you're right. Like to your point, it's not him every time.
But it's Richie Saunders who leads the entire team in offensive rebounds. I want to Kada gets those putback dunks and stuff. I want to see him get a rebound, put it back up, like throw it down, dish it back out to the three and restart. Like I just feel like we don't see an offensive rebound where the whole the BYU's offense is able to reset. You know what I'm saying? Like I see Kaba or Boop get a rebound and then they put it back up and they get fouled, but I never see them get the ball out and BYU gets a complete reset turnover possession. So yeah,
I will say, we've been hating on the big men a lot, but without Beto Ahmed, this team would be in deep doo doo.
Yeah,
Boop is our primary backup center. I don't think is a recipe for success. Even though I love him, he's a great rebounder, great
is
defensive player. Yeah, Boscovich,
oh my,
great signing from Kevin Young. But yeah.
Okay, well let's move off from the hate from the big men. I want to hate on the little men.
All right,
I'm gonna go on a quick little rant. I mean,
okay.
Brandon was able to take his rant about big guys.
For the listeners, I'm not planning on going on a rant today.
I'm going on a rant right now. Okay,
Nate's got it. I will not.
I looked at BYU's 3-point percentage for the whole season. Started off, I split it up. So we've played 18 games so far. I've split it up into 6 different sections. They took 3 games and then took the average of it. So the first 3 games, 28%.
Did you take the average of the percentage or all the threes combined?
Well, I just added up all of the attempts and then makes, and then we got the percentage.
I just remember
Sorry
for interrupting your rant, but I remember listening on ESPN radio a couple years ago, and Mike Greeny, I think his name's Mike Greenfield. Anyway, ESPN analyst, he gets all of his stats wrong, because he added up all the percentages
And then
took
right.
the percentage
Divide.
of that instead of like the actual shots.
Heck no.
And so I just thought it was funny to remember. Anyway,
Okay,
continue
no.
with
So
your rant.
how I got all of the attempts and then all of the made shots.
Yeah.
So the first 3 games we attempted 76, made 22%, or made 22. It was like 28%, right? Next 3 games 37%. Next 3 games 37%. Then it goes up to 39%, and then going into like the beginning of Big 12 play, and then Utah, TCU, and Texas Tech, they drop down to 27.4%. So maybe
Wait, which 3 games are you talking about?
Eastern Washington, Kansas State, and Arizona State.
All right.
I mean, like from UConn, Wisconsin, and Miami, we shot 92 threes. And we shot lights out over K-State.
I guess the Eastern Washington game, we did like put up 110 points on it.
And so I'm just saying, we went from like 39%, 38% from 3. We get to Utah, TCU, and Texas Tech, and now we're shooting 27.4%. There's a pretty obvious drop off here. It could be because we started conference play and we're playing some harder teams. But like Kansas State, Arizona State, those are some pretty hard teams. And we're shooting lights out. Utah, TCU, Texas Tech, it's kind of just been downhill from there. If you look at the Texas Tech game, we were literally just talking about it. I had the stat pulled up. But we were only shooting like 20% from 3. And it's kind of getting a little frustrating, at least me as a viewer. I'm getting a little frustrated, like, why can't we see the ball drop in the hoop? And then all of our shots are coming from beyond the arc or right inside the paint. And the only jumpers are coming from AJ Dybantsa. Mm-hmm. Like, he's the only one who makes jumpers. The rest of our shots are beyond the arc. Just correcting myself back at the Texas Tech game, we were 23% from 3. Mm-hmm. And so I'm feeling like if BYU wants to make it to the Final Four, if BYU wants to shoot lights out against or beat Arizona, they've got to be lights out. They've got to just like live by the 3, because currently we are dying from the 3, and we need to make some adjustments.
BYU shot 45% from 3 against Arizona State, which is really good. 38% from 3 against Eastern Washington, and
33 and what? 38?
Or no, 40. I just closed the tab. 45 and 38, and then 38 against Kansas State.
Okay, so you could say it's like 38. Like at a minimum, those 3 games, BYU was shooting 38%, and now they're shooting 27%, and then against Texas Tech, 22%. I'm so sorry about getting my numbers wrong, but I'm like, come on, guys.
No, the point is right though.
The point is there.
What's going on?
I don't even know, because like you think, okay, maybe we're playing some like lower level basketball teams. They're not going to be as good at defending the 3, all that stuff. But BYU's had open looks. I think back to the Texas Tech game, watching Kennard Davis play. I love Kennard Davis. I love his game. But it doesn't matter if nothing goes in the hoop, because he's shooting from 3, and some of the shots are like clanging off like the backboard into the rim.
Against Texas
I'm
Tech.
like, wait a second, is that the guy that was like shooting really well at the start of the season? This isn't the same guy. I think he's just lost his confidence, and I don't know. Like, I feel confident that at some point in the season, BYU is going to figure it out, because that's just what Kevin Young is able to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping it's soon, because BYU's going to have some big games coming up.
No, yeah, like Nate mentioned already, the games that are coming up, this is the time to figure out and make the adjustments. And I think they've done it. I think part of the thing that I don't know how much – it's been a while, right? So, and I'm not as big into basketball as you know into football, but injuries do matter. And Keba Keita has not – there was moments when he was not 100% in these last in this stretch. There also is still like they're trying to figure out how to get Beto involved in the team and trying to make the chemistry work. It looks different when Beto's on the floor than when Keba's on the floor. It's not the same team. The chemistry and the ball movement is different, and it's not as fluid yet. Now there's still time that obviously needs to be done, and they're still trying to figure out different people's roles. Because at the beginning of the beginning of the season, when Kennard Davis was shooting like that, he also did have a little bit of a brace. So I think it probably could be confidence because he had a brace of Dawson Baker, who's not here anymore, who's hurt. So I think kind of it's just figuring out the new rhythm now. Now that all that has happened, now what? Now how do we figure this out? And what is going to happen now is going to decide how good this BYU team really is.
Yeah, and I want to build off what you were saying about the injuries. It's not necessarily good to like reminisce about this, but what could this BYU team be if we had Dawson Baker?
Oh, yeah.
Like, so huge. And then obviously there's like some BYU fans that don't know about this guy because he got injured before the season even started. But Nate Pickens, a transfer coming to BYU this year, he was going to be a rotation player as like a guard. And look at, this is a horrible stat from the Texas Tech game, but here are the three guys that BYU subbed in. These are the three bench guys that played, and guess what? Not one of them's a guard. Hadim Boop, Mihailo Boskovic, and Beto Ahmed. We didn't sub in a guard the whole game, and obviously Mihailo Boskovic can kind of play like 2 through 5 in a way. And like Tyler Murus is in the rotation. I guess he just didn't play this game, but BYU could really, really have used some guard depth.
You think that that was in the moment the Rob Wright went out, a true guard didn't come back in, and that you felt it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
granted, having said all of that, I feel like we can make adjustments. This is a team. Kevin Young's got the experience. These guys want it. There were some games when they got close that we talked about it against TCU. They just wanted it more. If games get close, I think they just want it. I think that was just an issue of like some chemistry combined with bad shooting combined with, I don't know if anybody was in foul trouble. I don't think so. But it just wasn't our night. But I think that we're going to look ahead and we can have some really, really good memories. Like there's not any reason to really panic long term. It's just figure things out before it becomes too late because this team is so really good. Now we're playing with the standards, the high standards that we've set for ourselves. Let's do it, and let's see the magic now.
Yeah, really, like, all that matters is what happens in March. And obviously that's not all that matters. But this BYU team, I'd say there's a 99% chance it makes the tournament. And then at that point, it doesn't matter who you play. It doesn't matter what you've done before that. All that matters is how you play in March and then at the start of April if you're able to get there.
Which they will, I believe.
Nate, you've been looking stuff up for a while on your computer. Do you have like a deep comment for us or something?
I was looking into the Beto comment or like why his name is Beto.
Can't find it?
I did find something. I can't verify if it's true or not, so I don't know if I should share. But basically, like, Beto means something in Egyptian, and he's from Cairo, Egypt, and so they're like...
What does it mean?
Here's what it says. BYU basketball player Abdul Ahmed is called Beto because it is a common affectionate nickname in his native in Egypt, likely a shortened or playful version of his name from childhood. I have no idea.
Yeah,
but
maybe
they're
it's right, maybe it's wrong.
That's what I was looking at. Sorry, I was a little distracted, but you guys probably had good points.
Hey man, that's okay.
Wait, what about Connor? What are some things that
Connor and me have been going back and
forth.
Oh, you
get okay.
Nate,
okay,
what about Nate?
Out of
what
it.
about Nate?
Do you want me to go back? Okay, I've got another one. I think BYU needs to stop relying so much on AJ Dybantsa. I think over the last couple of games, BYU has been exposed. And this came from Utah getting a double team up on AJ Dybantsa every single time. And AJ was held to he wasn't able to get over 20 points in this last game.
Yeah, and he only had 13.
He only had 13, right? And this entire season he's had 20 plus points every single time. It's after the Utah game, and Texas Tech was doing it too. They'll double team him. And then he just can't get the ball to the open player on the court. And so I'm like, stop relying so much on AJ. Spread some love, guys. Give it to Rob Wright. I'm a big Rob Wright guy. As of recent, Rob Wright can get to the hoop.
Oh yeah.
He goes in there. Yeah. I have no idea how he does it. He's only 6'1". He gets in there.
I think that might be to his advantage too. But
maybe. Yeah. He's so shifty. He is so shifty. And he was able to play in high school with Cooper Flagg and a bunch of other phenomenal players. and he knows how to play with some shooters, and he knows how to get in, kick the ball out, find open looks, make crazy layups. Just a phenomenal player. So stop relying so much on AJ. Get the ball out to somebody else.
Yeah.
That can hit a three, hopefully.
I know that AJ Dybantsa is never going to listen to this podcast. But
Ever.
If somehow this clip makes it to AJ, actually, I don't even want to speak to AJ because what I'm about to say is kind of mean. But AJ Dybantsa needs to grow up. Like, if we look at the stats, he averages over 7 fouls drawn a game. And, I mean, I love that he's getting to the line, but I don't want AJ to be an SGA 2.0.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Okay, but here's my point. AJ Dybantsa has 13 points. He shoots 1 free throw. Here's my thing. AJ Dybantsa loves getting fouled so much that sometimes he tries to get the contact and forgets about the shot. Like, he goes, I'm watching the Texas Tech game, and I see AJ Dybantsa, and I'm like, pull up for a midi. That's your shot. Like, this is going to be pure. And then he kind of tries to, like, lean in, get some contact, and, like, throw up a shot, and it's short. And then he just throws his hands up at the official. He's like, come on, ref. Like, and I'm like, AJ, just get your shot and let the game come to you. Let the fouls come to you because they're going to come because you're such a great player. Like, if you can make a foul call, like go for that. But otherwise, just, like, you shoot your shot. Like, get to your spots. And if they foul you, that's how it's going to be. You don't have to try to draw everything. So, yeah, AJ Dybantsa, that's actually going to be big, like how the officials call the game, because they were letting him play against Texas Tech. He shoots 1 free throw. So,
yeah,
just something
not
to
a
think
whole
about.
lot of free throws in that game from BYU side anyway. That's a good point.
I do want to have like a devil's advocate real quick. I know a lot of people hate on SGA, and a lot of people are going to hate on AJ Dybantsa too. I like the way that AJ Dybantsa knows how to bait people in the contact. I think sometimes, like to what you just said, he does do it excessively. And I think sometimes he should just play his game, do what he does best. But one thing that he does do a lot is he gets and ones. He knows how to bring the ball out in front of them, and then he kind of like pulls the ball backwards, and then he shoots it, and it's wet every single time, and then he gets contact, and then it's an and one opportunity. He does that a lot in games. Coach Young loves seeing that, and you can see KY get hyped up on the sidelines whenever he does that. From what you said, yes, AJ Dybantsa definitely needs to just play his game, and stop worrying about like foul baiting, but also he is getting really good at making and ones, or like getting into an and one opportunity. So I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
I say AJ needs to spread some love a little bit, get the ball to other players, and I think other players need to step up, make some big threes. I want to see Kennard Davis. I want to yell Kennard Davis's name, like Kennard Davis, let's go! Because like every single game, there's a time where I stand up and I'm like, oh, Richie for 3. Bang! Let's go, Richie, right? Every single game, there's an opportunity where I'm like, Richie, yes! I see Kennard Davis get the ball. I'm like, no, don't shoot. No, don't shoot. Pass the ball. Break. Right off the backboard. Oh, wait, now he's 0 for 9.
Made some, but
yeah, but it's like the inconsistencies,
late.
the inconsistencies there that it kind of like.
He did have one really
weary.
good game where he hit 6 threes, and I can't remember which one it was. But I just want to say one more thing about AJ. And to your point, Nate, like I love the foul baiting. I love it when he gets to the line, but he's got to be able to recognize when the officials are giving him the call and when the officials aren't, because basketball is a game where it's not officiated the exact same way every single game. It's different every time. That's just the way that basketball is, and that's why people like it so much. But AJ Dybantsa can't expect the same thing every time. That's what I feel like he's doing. And so against this Texas Tech team, he realizes he's not getting fouled. If he realizes that and starts to play the game a different way, I feel like BYU is maybe in this a little bit more. But he kind of just tried to keep going for the same thing that wasn't working. So, yeah, I still think he's a phenomenal player, though. And, yeah, I expect great things from him the rest of the season.
Heck yeah, I agree. All right, guys. Well, time will tell if they'll be able to figure out, make these adjustments that we've been talking about, or others that we maybe didn't get to. But thanks everybody for listening in. Appreciate you guys. BYU, as we follow BYU sports here on Hike the Y. Make sure to tune in next time. We're going to talk about BYU's upcoming games against Utah.
Stink the
and
Utes. I would
against
say
Utah
something else,
and Arizona coming up this next week before our next pod.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
there you go.
Let's go dogs.
Let's go Cougs.
Row, 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 row. Go Cougs. Sick 'em.
I feel like we need a new outro. Like we just.
We beat that one.